hustle got to be strong in this industry, as in any other industry.
All right, guys, so I'm going to do a recap of Week 8. Week 8 started Euclid, Ohio to St. Paul, Minnesota. 147 deadhead miles, 764 loaded miles. That was 2 pieces, 564 pounds. Load 2 for the week. Minneapolis, Minnesota to Salina, Kansas. 17 deadhead miles, 604 loaded. 1 piece at 50 pounds. Load number 3. Kansas City, Missouri to Burnham, Illinois. That was 177 on the deadhead, 500 loaded. That was 1 piece, 120 pounds. And then load 4, Hebron, Illinois to Graham, North Carolina. 92 deadhead, 826 on the loaded. That was 2 pieces at 700 pounds. And then load 5, Marion, North Carolina to Midland, Texas. 98 on the deadhead, 1,330 on the loaded. That was 3 pieces at 2,200 pounds. If you guys recall, that was the week going to Midland. That was the week that I had the misfire issue going on with the van. That was in Week 8. The numbers for the week. Total miles was 4,024 miles. Deadhead miles was 531. That came out to be 13%, the deadhead. The gross revenue was $3,800.35. That came out to a rate per loaded mile of 94 cents. Our expenses for the week, we had some repairs. That was the misfire issue, $233. Gas was $607.47. The van payment, $158. The insurance was $139.22 for a total expenses of $1,137.69, which brings the net for the week to $2,662.66. So that was a nice good week. Ran pretty solid. Rates were solid for the most part. Obviously, noticing gas prices just continue to go up, which I don't know if you can see that right now. $2.99 here. On the way up here to my delivery last night, the highest I've seen so far, and it was here in Illinois, $3.13. Woo-wee. Yeah. I don't know how many of you have been out here that long, and I can't remember what year it was, but I know I was in my cargo van, the Econoline, and I regularly was hitting 90, anywhere between 80 and 100 bucks on a fill up at that point, and that was a 25-gallon tank? Question mark. Might have been 30. I can't remember 100%. I have to go back and check on that. But yeah, my fill ups were regularly, 80s, 90s. So been through this before, and that was with the carrier that was paying a lot less. So I'll weather the storm, I believe. But man, it's gonna definitely, this continues to happen, man. It's gonna be rough on a lot of drivers, man. A lot of carriers, a lot of drivers. This is gonna get pretty bad. I wanted to answer a question that somebody asked in one of the videos in the comment section. She asked, what if you are late for a drop-off? Let's say you felt tired and pull over and slept 2 more hours and late 2 hours. What would be the results of that? And I replied to her on there, and I just have a little more to add to it, but I replied to her on there and I told her, if this was like a every blue moon happening, as long as you're communicating with your dispatch, dispatch can, work it over with the customer and make sure that everything's okay and you don't get a service failure, what's considered a bad service failure. Now, I also said to her in there, now if that's a common thing and that's obviously an issue, that if you are taking loads and you're needing to add sleep time onto each load you take, because the thing is, the responsibility is on us, the driver, to be sure that when we take a load or we're in service for a load, knowing what type of loads we can get or knowing what kind of dispatch you're working with, you've got to be able to satisfy all the particulars of that load, meaning the protect time for the delivery. And that's where this is where kind of it comes into play about different carriers are a better fit for different drivers. Because like with Barrett, it's considered forced dispatch, but it's not a truly forced dispatch. It's basically, the thing is though, if we're in service, they normally will just get us a run and then we're expected to take it. But at the same time, as to why I say it's not a true forced dispatch, is that if it's a crap run, or if there's other options, they'll call you and say, hey man, we got this load, just want to know if you're interested, or give you first offer, and they go through the steps of doing it the right way. But for the most part, you're not going to have the option of them calling you and asking you if you're okay to take this load. Now, other carriers will allow that. That's how they'll handle it. They'll call, say, hey, looking at this load, wanted to know if you wanted me to bid on it. And then you tell them yes or no. You can ask them the particulars of it, when does it pick up, when does it deliver, all that good stuff, and then you decide to take it. But no matter which type you deal with, and no matter which route you go, you still are expected to meet the requirements of that load and make that delivery on time. Now, obviously, there's all kinds of different things that can come into play to make you late or run tight on time, but this question specifically was basically, hey, I'm stopping to take 2 more hours sleep, and I'm 2 hours late because of that. Now, if everything else went accordingly in that load, like there wasn't a breakdown, traffic, all that other good stuff, believe me, that is going to be unacceptable on a consistent basis. The dispatch that you're working for, the carrier you're working for, they're going to eventually be like, hey, we're just going to have to part ways. We aren't the right fit for you. You're not the right fit for us, so we're just going to part ways. Now, some of the things that can also happen is that being late and it being a service failure, a true service failure, like they can start penalizing you monetarily for it. And, obviously that is going to eventually lead to, parting of ways that route as well. So in a nutshell, it's basically your responsibility that when you're in service and in communicating with dispatch that you're able to take these runs. You should know how your company works and what kind of loads they're going to throw at you, things like that. Again, if you're new and this is going on, obviously there's going to be a little more leeway because, if they know you're new and, you may not know all the things about all this stuff as far as going out of service and, because some drivers don't know, hey, I can go out of service. Like, yeah, you can go out of service. If you're driving for a fleet owner, obviously the fleet owner ain't going to like you going out of service all the time, and that's going to end badly. But it is always on the driver. The driver has the ability to get their sleep. If they need to sleep, go out of service, get their sleep, get back in service, be ready to run. So one more question I wanted to answer real quick, and this was also from a subscriber. It was in one of the video comments asking, since you own a van with the driver, do you claim the rate on that van, the mileage rate on that van, or does the driver claim actual gas receipts on taxes? Now, I've kind of done it two different ways, but both of them have the driver getting miles to be able to deduct mileage wise. And I'm talking about, the driver in my other van. They'll claim the amount of miles driven. Now, the 1 year I did take 40%, and per my accountant, since it's a 60-40 split, I can take the 40%, the driver gets the 60%. Because you got to remember, when you're doing mileage deduction, that then means that, like say the driver takes mileage, me as an owner, I can't then turn around and claim my repair bills, my maintenance bills, all of those things. So that's why you'll either, your options are split the mileage that way, split it 60-40, or the driver deducts individual gas receipts and I deduct individual maintenance and repair receipts. That doesn't work out the best for both of us. So what works out the best is that we deduct the mileage and we go ahead and split the mileage 60-40. The other years, the driver has just used all the miles, because me on my own have put in enough miles each year that there's more than enough to have enough deductions to be where I want to be. Hopefully I just said that clearly, because it seemed like I did a lot of zigzagging on that. If you have any questions about that, feel free to comment, ask. So, for right now, I'm actually booked on a load for tomorrow morning. Picking up in Chicago, going down to Atlanta, Georgia, 750 miles. So, I am just kind of relaxing today. I was telling dispatch, I was hoping to get something here today, because I'm always, eager to make money. But at the same time, this kind of forces me to take a day off, which is probably best. I'm actually feeling kind of relaxed, just kind of sitting here chilling out, getting a few things done that I needed to get done. Nothing major, but yeah, and it's a beautiful day, sitting here with the doors open, windows down, and just people watching. Tell you what, I've been sitting here, and I think, and it was all at once too. It's kind of crazy. It's almost like somebody threw something in the road. I've seen like 3 or 4, one roadside of service and 3 wreckers come in here. And 3 of those 4 was here for a flat tire. The other one, I don't know what it was, but 2 of them they towed away. 1 got their tire fixed. But yeah, there's I don't know if you guys can see it, but see, we got some vans over that way. I was gonna stay. I delivered near the closest truck stop was actually Elk Grove Village, Bensonville. I was gonna stay there last night, but man, that place was jam-packed with vans. I mean, jam-packed. I didn't feel like being all squished in there with everybody, so I was gonna go over to Carroll Stream, and I just thought, I'm gonna come over here, because I didn't really want to have to go another 30-40 minutes to come over here, but I was like, you know what, I like Love's, I'm gonna come on over here and hang out. So I drove over here to the Love's. What's crazy about that Bensonville one is, man, it's been a while since I've been there, as far as to stay there. But last time I was there, I actually got kicked out of there in the middle of the night, because they were saying, due to city ordinances, that vans couldn't be, or people in general couldn't be sleeping out front in the parking lot. So obviously they did away with that, man, because there was one guy over there on the side of the building in a big old Penske box truck, box van, looking for some kind of leak in his radiator, it looked like, because he was pouring stuff in there, it looked like, because he had a jug of something there, and the ground was wet, and he's all up underneath there looking, so he's repairing it. And then there was one van there, somebody living in the van. It wasn't even a work van, it was a minivan. And yeah, there's probably, like I said, 10, 12. There's probably 10, 12 vans in there because there ain't a lot of parking spots there. Not very many parking spots there at all for any of you that are familiar with that place. So I'm going to get off here, guys, and I will holler at you guys later, man. Be safe.